a whole generation of kids, entertainment in the Santa Clarita Valley has meant the mall or the movies or Magic Mountain. But it wasn't too long ago that entertainment around here meant father-son night at Saugus Speedway on a Saturday night. Hi, I'm Tim Whyte, and this is Legacy, Santa Clarita's Living History. Brought to you by the Santa Clarita Valley Historical Society and SCV TV. And we're here at Mike's Diner in Castaic to talk to Sam Stanley, one of the previous regulars at Saugus Speedway, one of the legends of the track back in its early days. And speak of the devil, here comes Mike. Brought us some cold ones for our conversation. We're going to talk about Saugus. Thanks, Mike.
My pleasure.
I understand Sam's been coming here for a number of years.
Sam's been coming here since I was a little kid.
Yep. Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So let me get my straw going. We're going to talk a little bit about Sam's days at Saugus Speedway, and I know I personally have a lot of fond memories of Saugus Speedway. And Sam, maybe you can start just by sort of telling us how you got started in racing and what Saugus Speedway was like when you first started running around that 1/3 mile oval.
Well, I started out in 1953 in Texas on a dirt track, Wichita Falls. I come out here on vacation in '54, never went back. Then when Saugus opened, I started at Western Speedway before Saugus opened.
Right.
Then I raced there till the '60s, and I went to NASCAR.
Now, what kind of cars were you driving mostly at Saugus Speedway in those days? Because I imagine they were quite a bit different from what we see now on.
Yeah, well, they was they were stock cars, really true stock cars.
So in other words, you could go to the car dealer, buy a car, put a roll cage in it, and go racing.
Right.
Right.
Well, you had special parts, but they were supposed to be stock.
Right. And then what was your experience like driving at Saugus Speedway in those days?
I don't know. I loved it. You know?
What was it that you loved? Was it
I just loved the competition
competition?
and the people I raced with.
Right. Now you raced with some pretty well-known figures at Saugus Speedway. Tell us about some of those.
Well, actually, Riverside. I raced Riverside a lot.
The road course.
Yeah, and that was with Paddy and Buck Baker and those guys. I raced with those guys.
So you ran in the Cup races there,
Yeah,
the
oh,
NASCAR
yeah.
Cup.
Yeah, well, when I quit Saugus, I went into the Cup races.
Right.
And it was a mistake, but I had a lot of fun, met a lot of good people.
What was it like running with the big guys, Richard Petty and Bobby Allison and those guys?
I didn't know I couldn't win. I mean, when we went to Riverside, we thought we finished the top 10 a lot.
Right. Now Riverside was a really interesting road course. And
Oh, yeah.
and of course, got torn down eventually to make way for a shopping mall.
Yeah. In 1965, I had a factory Mercury from Bill Stroppe.
Right.
In fact, Parnelli Jones was he run number 16 and I run number 17.
Now, by a factory Mercury, what does that mean?
It was a factory back race car.
Right.
It wasn't what us hillbillies built. It was a real thing.
So it was a race car built from the ground up as a race car.
Right. It was a real race car.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing stock but the body.
And that's part of the evolution of the sport, right? Over the years, I mean, it started out, you would literally tear the seats out and
Yeah, but it's
reinforce
not,
some things, and
you don't. What you see now is not.
no,
It's all like this car I got. It's got a stock frame, the front part. The rest of it's all hand built.
and we're going to take a look at that later on because you brought I'm going to spill the beans a little bit here. You brought us is a dirt track modified? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Because
I was bringing the other one. I had two of them, but it got wrecked real bad last night. So.
Last night?
Yeah.
Now, who wrecked it?
Guy from Bakersfield drove it,
Right.
and it wasn't his fault. I mean, it was just. And talking about Roman Calczynski.
I remember Roman Calczynski.
Okay,
from
the
Saugus.
kid that drives my modified, his granddad used to be my pit man, and he went on to race. Casey Jones, you ever heard of him? Floyd Jones?
I don't know Casey Jones, no.
Well, his grandson's driving my car now, and he thinks that Calczynski's his uncle. I mean, he knows he's not, but he called him his
Right.
uncle.
I'm a big racing fan, and racing's always been kind of a family endeavor, right? It's always been a family-oriented sport. Can you talk about that element of it as you went up through the ranks?
Well, I didn't. I come out here. I didn't have no family. I was kind of on my own. You've heard of the Woods brothers?
I'm very familiar with the Wood
They're
brothers,
my
yes.
cousins.
Yeah.
My mom was a Wood. My
Right.
mom and Walter Wood, which is their dad, was first cousins.
Oh, wow.
And Leonard married one of my cousins on my dad's side, which,
And for our viewers who aren't familiar with the Wood brothers, they're a legendary racing
oh yeah,
family in NASCAR.
I was raised. My
Yeah.
brother went to school with
Yeah. Leonard and Glen Wood are in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Leonard was my age.
Yeah.
And it was Clay, he was the oldest one. It was Glen, Ray Lee, Delano. They had a sister named Crystal, and Leonard was a baby.
What about Saugus Speedway when you first started driving there? You started there in the mid-50s, right?
About 58.
What did it look like?
It's same as it is now, except the grandstands are not there anymore.
And it was paved then?
Yeah, I've
Right.
never seen a paved track.
It was your first paved track?
First paved track I ever seen.
Now Saugus is unusual because it's
It's flat. Yeah.
right? Talk about that as a driver.
If you can drive Saugus, you can drive anywhere. There's been a lot of good drivers come out of Saugus.
But I understand a lot of the guys that didn't grow up there that would come in on a one-off kind of deal, they'd have a hard time adjusting to it.
Oh yeah, it was a
Challenging.
challenging track.
Yeah. I understand they used to say that if you poured water on the inside of
It
turn
runs
2.
to the wall.
Yeah. And it's short, so it's very quick.
Well,
one
it's a
lap
third
around there,
mile.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're racing now is a quarter mile.
Right, and that's dirt.
Yeah, and the cars we raced at Saugus would have a tough time on this track.
Yeah. Why is that?
It's not wide enough, it's too short.
Right. And so they were larger cars,
Yeah,
then, right?
yeah.
Yeah. What about some of the characters that you raced with?
Oh, there was a bunch of characters.
Now, a lot of the drivers had nicknames, right?
Yeah, mine started, Joe Volkermer was the announcer,
I remember Joe.
and I don't know, he called me Sad Sam. Oren Prosser was Roarin Oren.
Right.
Wild Bill Foster.
Wrong Way Willard.
Yeah, Willard, yeah.
Why'd they call him Wrong Way Willard?
I don't know, he was, he come in after I quit. I knew him, but
I remember hearing something about he ended up going the wrong way around the
I
track.
guess that's what happened.
Now, why'd they call you? You don't seem like a sad guy. Why'd they call
I
you
don't
Sad
know,
Sam?
that's just what Joe called me one night, and the guy that, I had a pit man named Monk, his name was Alvin Lindsay, and that's what he had put on the car from then on, so.
Now, did the Wood brothers have another nickname for you?
No, I left home when I was 18. I had asthma real bad, and I moved west.
Now, because I heard that you had another nickname, it was Six Toe.
Huh?
Six Toe.
Oh, yeah, they called me that when I was a kid.
Why'd they call you Six Toe?
I had a growth on one of my toes, and I had it on my hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did it make you faster?
I don't guess. I've been called
I
lead
would hope
foot.
so.
And, yeah.
You'd be called. Now, did you like the speed of racing? You said you liked the competition.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Speed didn't, you don't really know how fast you're going.
Right.
We'd run 160 miles an hour at Riverside, and it didn't seem like it. But now Glen Wood quit racing when they got to running 120. He said that was out of control. Well, you're out of control at 60 if you don't know what you're doing, you know.
Right. Now, what about Riverside? That's a whole different animal, right? I mean, you grew up on dirt tracks.
Oh,
Saugus Speedway, a flat oval. Riverside's a road course.
I was raised in Virginia, and the Riverside was like the backcountry roads in Virginia. We used to outrun the cops back there.
Now, why were you outrunning the cops?
Oh, I don't know, it was just kids.
'Cause that's part of the whole origin of the sport, right?
Yeah, well, my brother, the reason I originated in Texas, he got caught hauling liquor.
Uh-huh.
So he moved to North Carolina. They took his license, and he couldn't live in the state of Virginia. So he moved to Texas. Junior Johnson, same thing.
Yeah. Junior Johnson grew up running Moonshine, right?
Right.
And a lot of these guys, they adapted that experience running away from the cops to the racetrack, right?
And Junior, I don't think ever drank a drop of liquor, as far as I know.
It's funny because he sells Moonshine now.
Well, it's government.
Yeah.
They just use his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about living here in the Santa Clarita Valley? I imagine you've seen a lot of change. I know I've seen a lot of change. I've been here since the mid-'70s.
When I come to Newhall, it was about 1,500 people. Everybody knew everybody.
Right.
Then I moved to Castaic in 54, 55. I moved up here.
So that's before the lake was even built.
Oh,
right?
yeah. There was nothing here. This place was vacant. I think in 47, a guy named Johnny Martinez had this. Then the Larkins from Lake Hughes opened it. Then Jose, then Mike bought it. So it's been here a long time.
And you live just up the street, so
Yeah.
so this is your sort of your neighborhood cafe, right?
All the old people used to meet here every evening. Was 15 of us, and I'm the last of the Mohegans. Ain't nobody left in my age group.
Now, I understand that you used to babysit someone who works here.
Yeah. Well,
Tell us about that.
I've raised a lot of kids.
And who is that?
I think Diane was, I don't know, me and my wife babysitted for a lot of kids.
So you've seen them all grow up and move on and,
Yeah.
and
They've
grow
all,
with the community.
they've all done good.
Yeah.
This
Now-
is a good community here. I mean, there's a lot of good people, the Sheelers, Patties, Underwoods, Allens, Cordovas. I mean, of course, there's a lot of strangers moved in, but,
Well, it's been a lot of change, right?
yeah.
Do you still feel that sense of community, though?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You know, now there's a mall where there was an onion field and everything looks different, but I do still feel that same sense of community. What about what you're doing now? Now we talked about this a little bit, but you're building race cars still?
Yeah, well, I was in the trucking business. I worked construction, and my wife, we went to a lot of races, and my wife got sick. I just shut everything down, and when she died, I started working on a race car. That was in 2002, and I finally bought one. Now I got about 5 of them, and 2 of them running, some of them in pieces. It keeps me going.
I imagine with race cars, a lot of the times, a lot of them are in pieces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now your cars run primarily at Ventura on the dirt mile
Ventura,
there? The dirt
Bakersfield.
track?
We used to run Victorville. They shut that track down.
Which track did you run in Bakersfield?
The Okie Bowl.
Did you ever run at Mesa Marin?
No, but that was one of my best friends, Marin Collins.
Right.
I never missed too many races there, but I never raced there.
Yeah, that was a neat track, and of course they've replaced that with a newer track. And
Yeah.
And then Saugus Speedway closed down.
Yeah, they got a dirt track now at the new Kern Speedway.
Right.
They got a dirt track there.
Now your race cars that you're building now are primarily for dirt, right?
Oh yeah.
So after all these years of racing, do you prefer dirt over the pavement?
Oh, I always loved dirt.
Yeah.
You got to be a driver to run dirt.
Why is that?
It just takes skill. It takes all of the asphalt. The car's got to be perfect. It's got to handle good. Dirt, the driver can make the car.
You got to turn right to go left.
Yep.
Let's come back to some of the people that you raced with. Let's talk about some of the big names of Saugus Speedway over the years. Who were some of the friends that you made and still may be in touch with?
They was all my friends, but Don Knowles I learned a lot from him. Right. He was probably one of the best drivers on the West Coast. Hornaday Sr.
Right. Now, Hornaday Sr. ran at Saugus in the 60s?
He ran at Saugus, and he run the Winston. He run Pacific Coast late models, then it went into the Winston Cup, then Winston West. He won, I don't know how many championships, Hornaday Sr.
Now, Hornaday, his son, Ron Hornaday Jr., I remember him from when I was in my teens.
He played under the grandstands when me and his dad was racing.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, he grew up and became a racer himself and moved off to North Carolina and made it pretty big in NASCAR.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's still good. He's 58 years old probably now.
Yeah.
He can still drive a race car.
And he's going into the NASCAR Hall of Fame next year.
Yep, that's
And,
good.
Yeah, the nice Saugus Speedway
And
connection.
you know,
there.
they talked about Herschel McGriff.
I remember Herschel McGriff. Yeah.
Well, I raced with him from, I think we went to Portland, Oregon in 1965. I had one of the factory Mercurys.
Right.
Parnelli Jones's main guy, Marvin Porter, raced. And this guy showed up in this old black Plymouth. And I asked Porter, I said, who is that guy? I'd never heard of, well, I'd heard of him, but I didn't know. He said, that's the guy that's going to win the race today. And I said, who's that? And he said, Herschel McGriff. He said, do you know him? I said, I've heard the name. And he won the race that day and won a lot since. He come back in, he'd been in retirement.
Is he racing again now?
Oh, no, he's been retired probably 10 years.
Right.
He's probably 90 years old.
I remember there were quite a few characters at Saugus. Roman Calczynski and Gabby Garrison.
Gabby Garrison's one of my best friends.
Now, he used to run a convertible, right?
Yep, right.
Yeah. Now, how well do you know Gabby? Tell us about Gabby.
Well, I knew him about as good as you could know a person. In fact, he worked for the factory race team, the Stroppe organization.
Right.
He painted their, I think he was a painter. They've done off-road trucks and circle track cars. Gabby worked for him till he died.
You know, when I think of Saugus Speedway, I miss that small town Saturday night vibe. Can you talk about the atmosphere of Saugus Speedway and what it was like, and maybe try to shed some light on that for some of our viewers who maybe weren't here then and don't remember having that in the community?
Well, they've done a lot for the community. They brought a lot of people into town, a lot of money into town. A lot of people went to the local after the races. They used to come up here, 99 Oaks, Saugus Cafe was loaded.
Cafe, yeah. There'd be trailers with race cars on them out in front of the Saugus Cafe.
Oh yeah, you couldn't, the standing room only in that bar. On Saturday night.
And the grandstands would be packed with
They was
4,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine there was probably close to 5,000 people.
Yeah. It was great entertainment for a Saturday night.
Yeah, but it's still. I like NASCAR,
Right.
but I won't watch TV if it's a dirt track race.
So speaking of dirt tracking. As we mentioned at the top, you happen to bring a dirt track race car here to Mike's Diner. I imagine that you drove it really, really fast, or did you trailer it?
No, we trailed it down there.
That'd be more fun to drive it right down the road, right?
I have. I used to have 99 Oaks Garage, and we'd hot lap our cars up and down there. And that was when it was Highway 99.
Right before the 5?
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to go out here and take a look at it. And this is one of your dirt track racers that you run this one at Ventura?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't run every Saturday.
Right.
We run about 2 races a month.
And who are your drivers?
Luis Espinosa, which is Casey Jones' grandson.
Right.
And Loren DeArmond. Let's see, I got 5 guys that.
This is Dave Phipps, right?
Oh yeah,
He used to
Dave
run
builds my
Saugus?
motors.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
He builds your motors?
yeah.
Right. That's great.
And his kid won the championship for him in 2015. Andrew Phipps.
Right.
Dave drove my car in 2011, and Andrew drove it in 15. Robby Sawyer drove it in. Drove it in 2013. He won the championship. We finished 3rd in the championship last year, and we're 1 point out of the lead right now.
And the season's just getting started up,
About
basically,
halfway
right?
through.
Okay. They run through the summer there, right?
Yeah.
Saturday nights.
October's our last race.
Right. Excellent. Well, why don't we go take a look at it?
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yep.
Let's go outside and have a look at one of Sad Sam Stanley's dirt track racers.
We might even fire it up for you.
Oh, let's fire it up. All right. I think I found my new ride home. That's some good old-fashioned American horsepower right there. Thanks for watching Legacy. This is Sad Sam Stanley, who's been our special guest, along with his former adopted daughter that he babysat, Diana, from Mike's Diner, one of the sponsors of Sad Sam Racing. And thanks for watching this edition of Legacy, and we'll catch you next time. I'm going to hop in this thing and take it home.
And thanks to Pat Armand.
Yeah.